his closet is his booth, you know, but it's completely sealed off. He's got like top notch uh, microphones and all kinds of stuff. He's got mastering equipment like up the ears, you know what I mean? So
Hmm. Okay.
that's where all the technical stuff comes in. Is usually Sky, you know.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, what advice would you give to someone that's, let's say he or she is inspired by you and would want to start rapping or would start against music? What kind of advice would you give to that person?
I would say just be yourself always. Don't ever try to like don't ever try to like say that you're this and you're that and try to make an alter ego for yourself, because the ego is a very dangerous thing. You need to be yourself, man. You know, if you really want to like do this hip hop thing properly, if you want to make money and if you want to go out and just, you know, make a mockery of the scene, then go ahead, you know. But personally, I say be yourself always, and you know, follow your dreams, man, because everybody has a legend, you know. And I say it in my music, everybody has a legend. Everyone has more or less a purpose, and you can do so much with your life, especially here in Canada and the States. I mean, we have so much opportunity that we don't see. Like when we look at the rest of the world, you know what I mean? The rest of the world doesn't have as much opportunity as we do. So take that opportunity, man. Go out there and do it, like, you know, because you can. And don't let this world get you down, because it's an ugly world, but we can all do a little something to make it a better place, you know? Not one man can do everything, but everyone can do something, you know?
Well said. Well said. Okay. Um, my next question is, how do you see haters? Like, do you see them as a form of motivation, or do you see them as, a distraction? What do you?
Haters.
Yeah, haters.
Um, the way I see it, anyone that's like talking bad about you or your music, I mean, if you have constructive criticism, you come and say, well, this is what I'm not feeling about your music, you know, and I don't think you're like a good artist or whatever. I mean, that's just criticism. You have to accept criticism as it is. But when someone generates ill will towards you because you're starting to make a little bit of success, that I just think, like, you know, that person is not really content with himself. And you know, I just kind of laugh that off. I don't see it as motivation. I don't see it as something to glorify. And I hear that in music so much, like, you know, I love my haters, but no, it's like, why do you want to generate more ill will towards yourself? I think people should just like stop concentrating on what others are doing as far as success goes. And if you really want to see that success, you can get up and do it. So you don't have to hate on the next man, you know?
Mm.
It's just like, get up and do it, man. Like, to hell with like looking at the next man and what he's doing, because that really is relevant in your story.
Mm.
So, you know what I mean? What I say to haters is like, dude, just get on your own thing, man. Don't watch me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm out here doing what I want to do, and it's not for any kind of like reputation or money or anything like that. I'm just following my passion, and now I've decided to make a career out of my hobby. So if I do end up generating some kind of success or some kind of hype within the city or internationally, I don't expect you to sit there and say like, well, fuck him because he's just a grimy white dude from LaSalle. Yes, that's absolutely true, and that's all I'll ever be in a way. But you know what I mean? Like, if you have a problem with that, just go out and do something yourself, so you don't have to watch what I'm doing. Like, you know, I'm just like, any hater is just a person that's not content with themselves. So I think they just need to get up and do something. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
read a
Yeah.
book, motherfucker. You know?
Oh boy, that was again well said. Um, so my next question is, what is the hardest part for you when making music?
Mm. Uh, it's not, to me, it's not really that hard. I mean, sometimes when I want to write and I experience a little bit of writer's block and it's hard for me to get inspired to write something, sometimes I get frustrated. I'll write half a verse and then I'll be like, no, this isn't right. Like, you know, and I'll just crumple it up or I'll just flip the page or whatever. But I guess sometimes for me the hardest part is just finding inspiration, you know, like, or at least channeling what you have to make your inspiration. You know, like, my problem is like, sometimes I don't write enough, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I find is my one flaw. I don't write enough, you know. And to me that's the hardest part, because the rest of it just comes as, you know what I mean, fun to me. Going to record a song, going to have a group meeting, going to a show, you know what I mean, just hanging out with my crew if we're having just a brew, and you know what I mean, just, you know, shooting the shit. To me that's just like, it's all fun, like, you know. But the hardest part, I guess, for me would be, you know, writing something meaningful, making it sound good, and then really the hardest part is making people listen to it, because those that listen to it like it, but most people don't listen because there's so many rappers out there. You have to be able to put out something original, something that's going to catch people's attention, and you know what I mean? Sometimes that's hard. So I guess, you know, promotion, well, honestly, to answer your question properly, promotion would be like the hardest part.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, I totally agree. For most things out there, for any digital media, I mean, someone like, for example, like this podcast right here, it's going to be quite difficult for me to, you know, get this out there.
Yeah,
Unless, sorry?
You know, I'll be helping you for sure.
Thank you, and we're helping each other out. I mean, you know, I'm more than happy that that you're taking the time to have this interview. You know, a chance for you to get your music out at the same time. You know, we're helping each other out. So which is great. My next question is, it's opposite of the...
Yeah, no doubt, and thank you, by the way.
No problem. The second, excuse me, the next question is, what is the easiest part about making music for you? Yeah, well, sorry, what's the easiest part for you when making music?
The easiest and funnest part, in my opinion, is doing shows, because that's just... When I get up on stage, I'm a completely different person. In person, when you hang out with me, I'm like a relatively quiet person. You know, I conversate and sometimes I talk shit or whatever, you know, but I mean, I'm a relatively quiet person. When I get up on stage, I'm a completely different person. Because to me, it's like you have to perform. You have to, you know what I mean? Those people have to, like, again, like you have to catch their attention. If you just stand there for 15 minutes, look straight and yell over your track, it's not as good as, like, you know, getting up and like what's up, Montreal, like, how are you feeling tonight, let's get this, you know, you give out that energy and people are going to give you that energy back, and that's exactly what a hip-hop performance is. So when I get up on stage, that's literally the easiest and funnest part, because I'm literally just having a party and doing what I've always wanted to do, is to perform. Like, and now that I've only been performing since March. It is now August. It hasn't even been 6 months that I've been on stage, but I've done about 6 or 7 shows since March, and I love it. It's like an adrenaline rush, a high, if you will, you know what I mean, that you just can't match with anything. Like, you know, this is what I was put on earth to do, if you ask me. So the easiest part is definitely performing.
Oh, that's okay. That's cool. My next question is, where do you see your music in the future?
Well, right now I'm seeing that out in Europe, my style of music is much more appreciated than it is over here on a level.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, hopefully, you know, I'm speaking idealistically here, like a tour of Europe, you know what I mean, just doing shows out there, meeting people, doing music with people out there. I have a lot of hip-hop artists that I listen to from the UK, namely Akala, Low Key, Mike Righteous, Logic, People's Army. They're a more or less politically based hip-hop style, and very, very talented dudes. So, I mean, personally, within the next couple of years, I hope to see my music reach them, start doing music together, maybe do some shows together, just build bridges, man, you know, and keep hip-hop alive, keep underground hip-hop alive, keep real hip-hop alive, you know. It's a culture, it's not a commodity. Mm-hmm. So that's what I see from my music, is keeping this thing alive and having some fun, you know.
Yeah. That actually, you saying that, keeping hip hop alive, makes me wonder about the new genres that came over in our decade, current decade, where, you know, like the rise of dubstep and like music like that. Like, what's your view on that, and people maybe saying, oh, hip hop is on the decline because of this new genre?
Well, personally, I was never really into techno music or electro music or anything like that. But when I started listening to dubstep, the one thing I appreciated about it, besides the bass, I find the bass is pretty cool. The deep, like, trancing type bass. That's the pulsating, capturing, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of like that, but it's not something I go out of my way to listen to. The one thing I appreciate about it, it wasn't like a continuous loop of bang, 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 or boomps, 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 you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It actually had a rhythm to it, you know what I mean? If you listen to it, it doesn't have that pulsating, like, controlling vibe where, like, you know, trance music, for example, is called trance music because it puts you into a trance. And pop music uses trance music to, you know what I mean? If you really listen to pop music and listen to what they're saying, listen to what agenda that they're trying to push, I mean, it's not all in all righteous, you know what I mean? You listen to these girls, like, these artists that 15-year-old, 14-year-old girls listen to, and all they talk about is getting drunk and getting mashed up and going to a bar and hooking up with dudes and partying and this and that. So your 13-year-old girl, that's what she's going to want to do, because that's what Kesha does. That's what Lady Gaga does. That's what these people do. So, you know, as far as that kind of stuff goes, I find that kind of kills the music, because now hip-hop is being introduced to that